Hey everyone, excited to be back for this week's edition of Frequently Asked Questions for Commercial Real Estate. In today's video, what I wanted to do is talk about 3 AI tools that I've recently started to integrate into my business. And periodically, I like to create these videos to talk about some of the tools that I've incorporated into my business and how beneficial they can be in your own. So in today's video, we're going to talk about these 3 tools, explain some of the use cases for them, and then hopefully by the end of this video, you know how to implement them into your own business such that you can then become more effective in your offerings to your clients. Now, before we dive in this video, I'd greatly appreciate it if you can like and subscribe to this channel. It really does help with the YouTube algorithm and ensures more and more people can hear this message and learn about the many facets of commercial real estate. So now you've done that, go and like and subscribe below. Let's go ahead and dive into this episode. All right. So as I mentioned, in today's video, we're going to talk about 3 particular tools that I'm using in my business to help amplify my results on a day-to-day basis. And, I've incorporated a variety of different AI tools into my business, but these three tools are actually quite interesting. And I'm hopeful to hear some feedback in the comments about some of the feedback I receive from these particular tools themselves. So to start off, one that I've gotten a lot of value from recently is this tool right here. So this is a piece of hardware called Plaud AI. And the premise of this particular tool is that you click this button right here, and it will capture your conversation. And then from there, it'll parse it through a large language model and create summary reports and action items for any use case. So in my case, I use this a lot in meetings. So if I'm going to be having conversations with clients and I want to record the conversation so that we can talk, so I can document all the requirements that they have as a tenant or a owner or a seller, I'll be able to do that. Along with that, at the end, I always reference, okay, so these are the action items that we're going to have as myself, someone who has to come up with creating a listing or whatever that meeting entails, and it'll create those action items at the end of the summary report so that I can, put them in my calendar or do a variety of different things with them as well. So it is a very powerful tool, and I thought I'd kind of share my screen so you guys can see just kind of the use case. There's 2 different types of tools. They're the ones that I have, which is a little bit thicker version, but then there's also the tool that you can attach to a lapel, or they have something you can hang around your neck as well. You can attach it as a watch. It is a very valuable tool that you can use, and obviously there's an application on your phone as well where you can transcribe everything. It is a very helpful tool. So if you guys want to have something that is a meeting note taker and can provide you with a summary of your conversations with people and provide action items and make it into a very readable and professional format, because I'm telling you, when you email this summary report to your clients, I've had several make comments about how it kind of blew them away as to how efficient it was. And so it can be a helpful tool to use. So I would highly encourage you to consider using it for yourself. And that, again, that's Plaud AI. You buy the actual hardware, and then I think you get 300 minutes a month for free. But if you wanted to use it a much more often, then obviously you have a subscription plan that you can select based on your use cases. So that's the number 1 tool is Plaud AI. Number 2 is Gamma. So Gamma is a presentation software that can be extremely helpful. So here's a particular use case. So I'm on the back end of Gamma. I subscribe to it, but this can help you generate very high quality presentations just by prompting it with either text. So for example, let's say you want to create a presentation and you have a summary of what you're thinking. You type it out in a Word. You can paste the text into this software, and it'll provide you with a presentation that looks very powerful and compelling. You could also do just one-liner prompts, which I'm going to do right now just to kind of give you an example. So let's say that you want to create a presentation providing the pros and cons of investing in industrial real estate in Louisville, Kentucky. So this will then help you create an outline. And this also helps you create something for web pages, other documents, etc. So this is going to provide you with an outline of the presentation and how it could look like. So as you can see here, it's starting to generate everything. And then you can select the template that you'd like. So in this case, I'll select this one and any other art style that you'd like. So then I'm going to go ahead and generate and see what happens. And again, it's going to require a little bit of tweaking on your end. It's not going to be perfect right off the bat, but it does give you something that's great to be able to work off of. And so you can see here as it's starting to generate the the base presentation, and you can see it's pretty amazing. Pulls statistics, pulls data, provides graphics, and if you needed to create something for a client, for example, let's say that you're pitching a client as to why it would be beneficial for them to look at investment opportunities in the Kentucky market, in commercial real estate or in industrial real estate. Again, you can generate this particular presentation and send it off to them. It's pretty powerful. So you can see here, it's just continuing to generate. But again, this could be a very valuable tool for you to be able to use. And as you can see, you probably want to incorporate your contact information. You want to run through this to make sure that everything kind of lines up with what your expectations are. But as you can see, it's an extremely powerful tool to be able to create valuable content for your clients, or even if you're creating content to share online, this could be a way for you to present that value in a much more high quality and readable format. And you can share with different people. You can export in a variety of different formats, whether it's PDF, PowerPoint, Google Slides, etc. So again, it is a very powerful tool, and I believe the subscription is not all that much. It's $20-something a month. And so again, if this is something that interests you, and which I would highly encourage you to consider, it can be a pretty powerful tool for you to be able to leverage. So that's number 2, is Gamma. And number 3 is NotebookLM. Now, the use case for NotebookLM, you could use it for a variety of different in a variety of different facets. Now, the way that I've used it in the past is to summarize different content in a podcast format, interestingly enough. So what you can do is you can add sources. So let's say that you have a long document that's 30 or 40 pages long, and you don't really want to sit there and try to sift through everything. You can upload that document to this particular platform and then have it generate an audio summary for you that you can then consume in a more, in an easier way. So in my case, I took a video that I created. It was an interview with a buddy of mine out of Florida who invests in retail real estate, and I submitted the link to NotebookLM. It parsed through that MP4 file and generated an audio format that really is powerful. I'm not sure if it's going to be able to hear that or not, but if you guys aren't able to hear that, I'll make sure to include the link to the audio recording below so you guys can kind of see what it sounds like. But essentially what it is you have AI generated voices that are talking amongst each other in a podcast format. So let's say you're talking about, in this case, we were talking about converting houses, rezoning houses and then renovating them to fit restaurant uses. So you may have a girl voice and a male voice talking to one another about the ways that you were able to do that, and it's a very engaging format, and it just makes it much more compelling to listen to. Now, my interview with my friend out of Florida was already compelling to begin with, but let's say that you had a really dense document that it was not the most engaging, then parsing it through this and creating that podcast format can make it so that it's an enjoyable listen and you get all the meat and potatoes of the information that you ultimately need. And so those are just some use cases for why you maybe should use some of these tools. They can be extremely powerful if you leverage them within your business. I'd love to hear some of the tools that you all are using in your business and how it's been able to help you amplify your results over time. If you guys like this channel, please like and subscribe. It makes a huge impact on our ability to reach a broader audience, and we greatly appreciate the support. Along with that, if you guys are looking to buy, sell, or lease commercial property here in Kentucky or Indiana, I'm a commercial real estate broker, and I'd be happy to help you with your search. Feel free to give me a call at 502-536-7315, or you can reach me via email at Raphael@sumcg.com. Thanks again so much for tuning in, and we'll see you all next time.